Hi, I'm Kara, and I really like rom-coms.
Hi, I'm Jaren, and I really like an anime based on the Lizzo song, Boys.
Wow, that's great! But you know what we both like? That would be the natural charm of being poor.
And this is...
Just
Kiss Already! So I kind of want to take a minute and put myself on blast because before we were...
Oh my god, Jaren, he's outing himself. Everybody, listen.
No, don't call me proud.
Everyone come here. Oh, just kidding, I'm sorry, go away.
No,
This
go
is
away.
just for me. Everyone stop listening, I have to listen, okay?
Ooh, baby. So,
Ooh.
but before we started watching Ouran, I hadn't watched anime in a long time. Like, especially not
Really?
watching, like, strings of episodes. The most
Wow.
recent thing is I will, when I hear that, like, an arc or a part of My Hero is very good, I will wait for it to finish being animated, and then I will watch that string of episodes independently of the rest of the show. But
Oh my god, really?
yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's like my jam. It's just like I know a little bit about My Hero.
I cannot do that. If I don't start from the... Sometimes if I wait too long to finish something, I have to start from the beginning again.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been so long since I've watched My Hero, I've been legitimately being like, I think I have to start it over.
And anime is like that. It's for me. It's like a comfort food almost, and I didn't realize that I was kind of missing it from my diet until we started watching this, because so much of my high school was about finding friends and finding community through anime at like a local place in my neighborhood. I don't want to give away too much detail, but
yeah, he's not, blast is off, okay, no more.
It was a place where I got a lot of volunteer hours, and as part of that they would run a convention. And so I remember people like cosplaying characters from Ouran before I ever knew what it was. And part of that convention was we had a maid cafe, and it was such an interesting idea to me at the time to see people that I knew from volunteering like getting up and participating in this thing to raise money for like our local center. And it was such a wholesome connection in my mind that now as I'm watching this, I'm getting that anime goodness, and I'm also getting nostalgia, which is like a double. It's like caramel and chocolate.
Oh my gosh, so indulgent. Ooh.
Yeah. Do you have like an anime centric experience or like a maid cafe kind of thing that you remember or that you've thought about?
Not really. So as you know, I was a manga boy growing up. I was all about the manga. Yeah, I haven't really watched as much anime. Like, I feel like people think that I've watched a lot more anime than I have, and I do know a lot of stories, but I've mostly read the manga for a lot of things. I've only recently kind of been into watching anime.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. I've never gotten to go to a convention, though. That's something that, like, I remember in high school I had friends who would go, and they would be like, oh, do you want to come? And, like, it would always be like, like, I was in theater, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, it's tech week that week, I can't go.
Oh, no.
Like, something like that. Because they're always on weekends, you know?
They are.
So that's actually something that I've kind of been, like, holding out for. Like, I want to go one day. I want to have fun, I don't know, run around.
Ooh, that'll be so cool. I love cons. I love big convention spaces with the weird carpet.
I have not had any kind of like maid cafe host club experience, but I do like dating games. I love a good dating sim.
Ooh.
And that's what they make me think of with the like, there's every flavor of character and you get to like romance them.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's so cool. I never thought of it like that.
I've been playing a lot of Monster Prom lately, so you know how it is.
God, I've heard Monster Prom.
Anybody
is really
who
good.
knows, Scott's my boy. Those who know. If you know, you know. Himbo, mwah, mwah, we love it. Anyway.
She did not.
He is, and I love him, okay? Listen.
You heard it here first, folks. The Just Kiss Already
My
podcast.
wonderful big dumb werewolf. He's wonderful. Okay.
Himbo writes.
Himbo writes.
Except no, he does not. He definitely does not write.
I don't know if he can even read.
Ooh.
I'm also playing a himbo in our D&D campaign right now, so you know we're just all in.
Yeah, yeah. When you find something, you're like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Great energy from those characters as well. Great energy.
Honestly, yeah. Big fan. But yeah, so this is really the only host club thing that I know. The Oron one would be...
It's our archetype for this thing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess any host club I go to, I compare it back to Oron.
0 out of 10. There was no honey.
Yeah, what was the point? I'm sorry. Where was the natural poor charm? I wanted to be flirted with, but in a very natural way, by a girl who was cross-dressing. That's what I wanted.
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Honestly, I was thinking about it watching this episode, and I was like, I know, like, last time we talked about, like, oh, which boy would you pick in the dating game?
Yeah.
And we were like, all Mori all the way. But honestly, I feel like if I was going to this host club, I would go to Haruhi.
See, that's the thing, is that it's like, why should you have to pick one? Like, surely the benefit of repeat business
true.
Is, like, you can
I
come
agree.
and go as you please.
Why not? Okay, that's true. In this episode, we had like a whole little thing about like how the host club works on a daily basis. Because this is kind of like the first, we're not just introducing, now we're here. So they've got this whole theme going on. They're like, hello everybody, it's summer, we're in the tropics. We're having a great time. Everybody's shirtless except for Haruhi, who elected to wear her school uniform.
Yeah, boy.
And we get introduced to this character. I forget her name.
Teacup girl.
Teacup girl. We get introduced to this character who, like, they're like, oh, she has, like, host-changing disease, because, like, she comes in and she's like, all right, Haruhi, you're my new fave. And Tamaki's like, I thought I was her fave. And, like, they make a big deal out of it, but honestly, yeah, like, why? I don't know about you, but I'm like a dating game. Like, I want to play everybody's track. Like, I want to know what's going on with everybody.
You and me are on the same page. We want that true ending where you'd make no choice and everybody love you.
When I play Monster Prom, I get to the end and I say, I'm going to prom by myself.
Oh, what a power move.
Right? And then you get an ending. They're like, why would you do that? This is a dating game. And you're like, oh.
Okay, sassy game designer.
They kind of roast you a little.
God. Nobody's there to tell Teacup Girl that, though, so she just goes around dating whoever she wants. And honestly, like, good on her, because if you get, like, a big decorative basket of fruit delivered to you, you're not gonna be like, I'm an apple girl, and just eat only the apple.
Right? What is life without a little bit of variety? I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So her whole deal is that, like, she has fiance who is Teacup Boy, and they both love fine clay products, or perhaps ceramic.
They love it.
Yeah, and so
they love plates and teacups and probably, like, spoons.
They have strong opinions about vases.
Tableware, if you will.
A dinette
they love
set.
It. I think fiance boy is like, he's like the heir of this tableware company.
Yes, that's important. He is the Prince of Spoons.
I love that.
For sure.
He is the Prince of Spoons. You know how it is.
He's the... There's so much in this episode that, like, they show Teacup Girl and she's sitting in the teacup ride like at Disneyland by herself. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like, is there going to be a theme park thing? And it was just very elaborate foreshadowing for the fact that she is engaged to Teacup Boy and trying to get his attention by going to all these different host club boys. And it's kind of not working.
Yeah, it's not. We have this is the classic emotionally constipated childhood best friends who are in love with each other but can't admit it. Because she's like, I'm gonna get his attention because he doesn't notice me. And he's sitting here being like, wow, I love her, but she obviously loves these boys instead. And it's like, come on, guys, come on.
This episode really made me appreciate Kyoya, because Kyoya knows all of the tea, and he's just here to stir the pot. Because he gets their teacuppery delivered by Teacup Boy, as Teacup Girl is there, and he's like, yes, thank you, I will sign for this. And they make eye contact, and he just kind of smirks. And it's like, you know what you're doing. He knows. Yeah. Kyoya truly is. This is also the episode where we kind of, like, learn that
Tamaki may be the king of the club, but the true king is Kyoya, who's like slowly sliding a tropical summer pamphlet onto Tamaki's desk and letting Tamaki be like, this is my idea, and also does research on all of the patrons and like just knows literally everything that's going on.
This episode was a strong push towards Kyoya being like one of my favorites because his dossier was like slightly misandrist, which, you know, points. And then there was also a part where they compare it like, oh, Tamaki's the king, but Kyoya's the queen. And I'm like, that's right, baby, chess rules, the most powerful piece.
I do really love, so we get this introduction of, like, Tamaki has decided that he is Papa. Tamaki really loves the, like, friend group with familial roles.
Yes.
And I feel like that's such a universal thing. Because, like, I've always been in friend groups where we've somehow come up with familial roles. Like, I feel like that's just, everybody kind of does that. We love to be fun. Like, this is mom friend. This is, like, what, I do want to ask, what is your common, you know how, like, I feel like as you go through friend groups, you kind of find out what role you usually are. Like, I'm usually child, but if there's a differentiation, favorite child.
That is a strong statement, but you are correct.
Thank you.
You are what survey says, top answer, favorite child, 99 responses.
Listen, it's a place that I fall into, you know? It's just how it is.
Okay, if I can indulge, can I ask you to guess what mine is? And then I'll tell you whether or not I think you're right.
Okay. Thinking about our common friend group, the friend group that we are both in, you know how it is. We are friends, and we have other.
We
friends,
are in fact friends outside of the show. This is not a performance obligation.
I pay Jaren, but he also pays me, so it just cancels itself out.
Yes, we give each other $1.
I feel like, I don't know. Are you like? I kind of want to say like wine aunt. You know?
Oh my god, you got it in one.
That's how you know we really are friends, because I do know Jared very well.
I was sitting here being like, okay, because I was gonna say in our friend group specifically, I feel like if we are in a public place, you and I, we shift to gremlin children role.
Yes,
where we're
we do.
just
we
doing bits
do.
in public and trying not to arouse suspicion.
Kimmy is yelling at us. She's like, guys,
be serious. And we're
shout out to Kimmy. Love you.
Love you, Kimmy. But when I'm like at the theater or I'm meeting new groups of people just will like open up to me, and then I give like that very stern wine auntie advice where I'm like, honey, he is not shit. Like, you are so good. You need to move on. It's a near constant thing. Oh
man. I feel like I can shift into mom friend if needed. Like, yes. if the group of people we are in does not currently have a mom friend, I can take that role pretty easily. However, if a mom friend is there, which there generally is, because I don't know what it is, I befriend mom friends, I fall straight into just like beloved child.
Beloved.
Just like
the firstborn beloved.
Beloved firstborn.
Oh, that's so tight.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, man. But yeah, so Tamaki's like, listen, this is a family. I'm the dad. Okay, Kyoya is mom. He never actually says Kyoya is mom. Kyoya is just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm mom.
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
saying mom, and I think it's me. Haruhi is precious child.
Oh, protect at all costs, for sure.
Yeah. I guess the twins then are like gremlin children.
For sure.
And then I guess Honey and Mori are like, I don't know, are they just like cool uncles? Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They're like sweetie and meaty. That's like their role.
Okay. Anyway, we're having a ball.
Oh, we're having an absolute ball.
Yeah, surprise. This is a romance story, so there has to be some kind of fun, big, fancy event. Of course. Whether it be an art exhibition or a ball.
Good one.
So we're having a ball, and Haruhi's like, a ball? That's stupid. And Kyoya's like, what if we pay you? And Haruhi's like, I love dancing. I actually am a big fan.
I've always loved dancing from... No.
I've always loved, yeah.
Oh. And then at this big old ball, the gang, the host club, decides we are going to play matchmaker and use what we know about these two people's private lives in a public setting to bring them together for the good of the world. And they do it.
It's what we have to do.
They're
it's
pros.
What we have to do. They're like, it's so funny because it really doesn't seem like they're pros in the beginning, because they're being like, okay, here's the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Haruhi, we're gonna make you dress like a girl because we wanna, and you're gonna go in there with this note that was written by the twins and Kyoya, might I add. Kyoya was one of the authors of this like weird love note, and I think about that a lot.
It's a work of art. I really feel like Kyoya has an inner poet that's dying to escape.
Good for him. And they're like, you're going to go in there and you're going to flirt with him. And then we're going to send the girl in and she's going to be like, oh no. And you're like, how could this work? But somehow it does. It totally works. It works beautifully. And they dance together under the big spotlight. And it's wonderful. And everything works, I guess.
It's a really tight, like, happy ending. It's like, it feels like this could easily have been the larger plot to a whole rom-com movie. And then Oran was like, no, we are experts. We get this done in under half an hour, for sure.
Okay, that's true. Because I literally, every time I rewatch this anime, I forget that this happens in episode 2. My brain is always thinking that this is something that happens a little while down, and maybe it takes like a couple of episodes, because my brain is thinking like the ball arc, obviously that's going to be like a big thing. And then it's episode 2 and it happens instantly. And I'm like, what just happened? Am I? Where am I?
Yeah, boy, this is a strong episode 2. One of the things that I'm really enjoying about this anime specifically is that we spent episode 1, we get all the setup. There's no like additional development that has to happen afterwards. We know where we are, we know what the stakes are. And then episode 2 is like bam, right into that good slice of life. And we're introduced to, like, the new stuff this episode, and we get to see the familiar characters playing off of it. And that's such a strong, recognizable, easy to drop in and out structure. Like, my experience, like, growing up watching anime was I was very young, staying up too late and watching it on television late at night. And so if I couldn't be there every night, I only got to see like every 7th episode on Saturday. So I love shows like this, where it's just like, you missed a week, whatever, baby, they're all here, they remember you. Sometimes you gotta go where everybody knows your name. And, you know, talking about anime again, this is like, this show did something that I really love that I want to articulate, and it's costumes. Because I feel like a lot of times in animation, you have your character and their base model, which in a lot of cases can be like a uniform or like a comfy outfit that they always wear. Like, not to draw an example, but Naruto.
Roast him, drag him.
Yeah, I'm dragging Naruto. You can't stop me. He had...
I mean, to be fair, like, I really like Hunter x Hunter, and that's another example of, like, Gon is always wearing those green shorts.
Yeah. It's a thing. And it's like there's this Naruto's orange outfit that he always wears, and I'll never forget because I had a copy of one of the first issues of Naruto in manga English release, and there was a page in between chapters that was like, yeah, Naruto has his goggles for these first couple chapters, but the author said that he got very tired of drawing all the detail on the goggles, so he switched to like the headband to make it a simpler design. And I'm like, that explains it. That explains why we have like these costumes that are always here. But at the ball, the twins have, like, these super smart waistcoats, and Haruhi's suit is great, and Tamaki's, like, all whited out, and it's like, It's having characters dressed differently is such a great way to reflect their personality visually without belaboring it through dialogue. And it's something that I respond to in shows. If your show has varied character designs, fantastic. Got me hooked.
I love to see the clothes.
For sure.
That's true. That's something that I also like about, the genre of, like, anime and manga that is, like, so there's, in shoujo, you'll have, like, the slice of life stories that take place at school, like Oran, so then they often make use of that uniform for most of the time, but even those stories, they'll have, like, you know, an after-school time where they hang out, or, like, they'll go on a vacation, a beach trip, if you will, together, or, like, there'll be, like, a school trip or something, so you'll get to see, like, their casual clothes. And stories also where they're not in school or they're not at work or somewhere where they would have a uniform, you just kind of get to see them like wearing normal clothes because it's a slice of life story and they need to be wearing different outfits in order for it to seem kind of real. Something that I think that other stories like, I don't know, like Hunter x Hunter is a great example. Like there's no, like Gon has these clothes and he's wearing them. He's on like a big adventure. He probably doesn't have time to go out and be buying clothes. Like it makes a lot of sense that he's just wearing the same outfit.
For sure.
But it's kind of fun. You get to see it in this genre.
Yeah, it's always nice. Because I feel like there's parts that you don't notice, and it makes the world more lived in, and that's such a great part of media, is being able to like just lose yourself in it and not be like, boy, those kids' shorts must stink.
They probably do. He's running so much. He jumps really high. Like.
Oh God. Also in this episode, we get, I think, I'm famously bad at predictions. I just want to...
You did really good for the final episode of Coffee Prince, I have to say.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to channel that one success and just stretch it out into this, because somebody this episode says something that really stuck out to me as like a thesis statement for the show, if you will. And they say that the Ouran High School Host Club exists to make girls happy, and that's their logic for why they are quote-unquote interfering with
Tamaki.
Yeah, Tamaki is the one who says it.
Tamaki says it, yeah.
He's the king. It makes sense. And it's this brilliant idea of like, we are here to make other people happy, and they obviously have the resources. Like, there's no budget involved with them. So they do, like, this big ball, and then the big moment where the betrothed couple dances, there are full-on 20th Century Fox searchlights on them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's like, they know what they're doing. They are here to make people happy. And it really... It's something that I'm excited about. It's like very rare for me to get excited, I think, about like what's going to happen next. But if the idea is that every episode we are going to take someone from being less than happy to happy, or making other people happier. And then it also, because Tamaki says it, Haruhi is a girl, and it's like that thing of like, we're going to make girls happy. And it's like Haruhi is this person with her mother out of her life, and at this school for very rich people on scholarship, and kind of belittled for being poor. But like, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a through line of like, we are here to improve Haruhi's life, and that's all I want.
Ooh, I do. Yeah, I like that notion a lot. The idea that idea of like the host club exists to make girls happy is kind of like a thesis for the show. I like the way that you put that.
Thank you.
Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I think also just thinking about Tamaki's character particularly. I think everyone in this show is definitely like, they're introduced to us as these kind of archetypes, but we will get to know them more. And Tamaki in particular, I think, is a very interesting character. He's definitely one to fall in love with. So I'm very excited to delve more into the show and kind of like see what your reaction to really getting to meet all of these characters is.
I really like that idea, just because it's episode 2. I mean, barely people have had individual lines or screen time. And the idea that they're going to evolve beyond their starting point, like, that's what I watch shows for. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, I do want to make note, speaking of lines, Maury does say, this episode, so it's a good episode.
It's like Groundhog Day. If he sees his shadow, we have 10 more weeks of good content.
A+, extra credit. I don't know what other rating systems exist.
Gold star.
Yeah, gold star. Yep. S-class. You know how it is.
Yeah. Talking about characters evolving, though, so Teacup Boy's journey in this episode is going from sort of being timid and kind of assuming that maybe his fiance doesn't want anything to do with him, to like sort of being more outgoing and sort of like letting her know, like, hey, I want to be a part of your life, and I want you to want to be a part of mine. And that's very sweet.
And Haruhi actually has, like, a part in that, which is really cool, I think. Just because I feel like Haruhi is kind of introduced as this character that's, like, really just kind of existing. Like, she wants to get through school. She wants to study. She has a goal, but, like, for now, she's just kind of trying to get through it all. Damn. And it was really nice to see her kind of, like, be an influence in this episode, because she did kind of, like, in this whole scene where, like, she's like, here I am, I'm girl who's in love with you, apparently, and he's like, I actually really have a big crush on this girl, but, like, I don't think she'd ever notice me. Haruhi kind of is like, I'm sorry, if you want her to notice you, why don't you just literally go and do it? Like, I don't understand. What are you whining about, boy? Just go do it. If you want something to happen, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. As you're saying this, you're kind of convincing me that this is secretly a shonen battle anime, and that Haruhi's quirk is that she can listen.
Yeah.
And she can give good advice, and she is undefeated so far.
Yeah, she's doing great. She's...
She has this great line that I remembered and that I wanted to bring up about, he says, I don't know if I can change to be the kind of person that she deserves or the kind of person that she would want. And Haruhi fires right back by being like, being able to change, wanting to change is being able to change. And I thought that was such a neat idea. And I was thinking about all the times where I, as a person, have been like, I'm a bit of an absolutist. I don't know if that's gotten across to our listeners. But if I'm like, I am not going to eat cake, I will be like, never again. Absolutely not. And if I decide later that maybe I want to eat a little bit of cake, I get very upset at myself. And there's this thing of like, just the fact that I want to stop eating cake is proof that I can. And to make it a much bigger thing, like, wanting to change who you are and how you are seen is a very important part to a lot of people's life and development, I think. And it feels very affirming to hear that in media. Because I feel like a lot of times, especially with anime, people will go in with, like, lowered expectations. But just, like, kind of seeing that happy, positive spin on it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. And it was something that I really liked and that I've thought about since watching. Yeah.
I agree. We put a lot of pressure on action. And I feel like that kind of also comes from a culture of being, like, I guess seeing is believing almost. Like, you have to, like, show that something is happening. But there is value in the want or the desire to do something. Like, I mean, the first step of doing anything is deciding that you want to do it. Or just even like thinking about doing it, like that all is kind of a part of the process, and it's kind of unfair to eliminate it like we tend to. I agree with Haruhi. Deciding that you want to change, definitely, like that's the first step. Like, if you don't do that, then what are you doing?
I really like what you said. I feel like there is a lot of pressure in my mind to have concrete plans and goals.
Yeah.
And then I completely discount anything that happens before that. But, like, the thinking and the research is absolutely part of trying to improve yourself and trying to make a change.
Heck yeah. It's what I tell myself when I start my papers way too late. I'm like, but I was thinking about them. I was thinking about them a month ago. So,
I've had this kind of outlined for a few minutes now as I sat down and booted up my computer.
I didn't write anything today, but I did think about writing something. So.
Ooh.
Don't tell my teachers. Everyone, please.
Just between us and our closest.
Just between us.
Oh
man. So we are watching a rom-com, if you will. It's kind of like the whole point.
Oh yeah.
So we've got a couple of tropes going on. So this episode, one of the tropes we see is the makeover trope. That's a very classic one. Especially, I feel like, cross-dressing drama or any kind of, like, show that puts the protagonist off, frames them as being like, I don't want to say unattractive, but like almost plain. Like that's such a common thing of being like, like the main person is not this like standout. Like they're just kind of here and like they're nothing special. But then we have a makeover to be like, but they were beautiful the whole time. And then that's what we do with Haruhi in this episode.
Honestly, like talking about change, if I can come clean, this is one of those tropes. Because it's like you said, it's not that they're taking somebody who's necessarily unattractive. It's that they are saying that, like, this person was plain, and look at how beautiful they could be. But it's, in my mind, it goes back to what Haruhi was saying last time about, like, it's just the person. It's just the way that they present themselves is different. And they are the same beautiful, perfect cinnamon roll Haruhi, no matter how you wrap it.
Much. I love Haruhi so much. So good.
She's very good.
Want to give hug or something. I don't know. Maybe like befriend. Maybe pay money so that Haruhi will call me cute. I don't know.
Oh. I would wave at Haruhi from across the fountain.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. It makes me think of, like, I think makeup is a really good example because there's this really weird, harsh narrative in our society that, like, makeup is a lie. Like, it's fake. You're putting on a mask. How dare you fool people? But then it's like, well, in actuality, like, nobody is literally changing their face. Like, you're just emphasizing your features, whether it be, like, your eyes or using color to bring out certain things or, like, like, I'm sorry, putting concealer over a pimple isn't removing the pimple, but it is showing what your skin looks like without it, which is a thing your skin can do. So, like,
yeah.
But, it's that kind of idea. It's like you're not changing the person, you're just presenting them in a different light.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely an underlying current in some things, and I think that might be partially why it rubs me the wrong way, is because it's tied in with the deceitful idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is not the case. That is not what this is.
That is not the case. If anybody out here was listening and they're like, but I actually think makeup is deceitful, I'm so sorry. I don't think you're our target audience.
I think you're in desperate need of a makeover.
Yeah. Oh my god, do you want a makeover? I would love to give a makeover. All right, so we got the makeover. We also have this idea of, like, always having the worst timing, or maybe the best timing, or the classic, like, misunderstanding where we send our girl in and she happens to enter the room right when this dude is, like, reaching forward to Haruhi, maybe to give her a handshake, maybe to give her a pat on the shoulder, we don't know. But apparently it looked a little sus. So.
It's so pervasive. Is that it? Pervasive throughout the genre of, like...
Yeah, sure. I don't actually know, but I'm going to say yes.
It's the thing of just, like, somebody's intentions were never bad, but the angle of the window that you were looking through and could kind of hear and maybe heard from somebody else what they saw was going down makes it look bad. And it's... As far as tropes go, it can be frustrating, because I've had so many times in shows where it's like, get together, please, just kiss already. Yeah. You love each other so much. You know how it is. And then it's like,
rom-coms wouldn't exist without the misunderstanding trope. I'm saying it now. I'm saying it.
Yeah,
they're the true core of this genre.
There is a great silver lining to it. I have noticed that it functions almost as, in my mind, and maybe I'm being too literal, it's kind of like a test, because it's a miscommunication at its core, and, like, as much as I want to see people just kiss, I want to see people be able to work through poor communication as a unit. Like, that's something that really makes things sparkle for me. So it's not a bad trope. I don't think there's such a thing in the third act misunderstanding.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like, if there's one thing I kind of like to think about rom-coms is that people will be like, oh, I feel like for any genre, people will be like, oh, this genre is going to teach you that that's what life is actually like. And no, truthfully, one thing that rom-coms have taught me is that, like, miscommunication leads to almost every problem. Almost all of them. And many things can be solved by just talking and being honest.
Literally be honest. Literally don't lie and flap your lips, and that's all you need.
Then you're good. You're fine. But yeah, it's a good teacher, I think. And then we also have, I mean, this whole kind of episode centers around the childhood friends. But this is actually like a really common trope, I think. Whether it be like they're the main couple that we're following or them as a side couple, as we're kind of seeing right now, is also something you'll see a lot of these childhood friends who have been in love with each other for years, but they're just too emotionally constipated to talk to each other about the fact that they actually want to smooch. They just can't do it.
The childhood friend is so interesting to me because in my lived experience, the people that I knew when I was 7, no way. Like, never. I could never see myself being friends with somebody or being romantic partners with somebody who knew me before I knew how to ride a bike or swim. Damn. There's just a level of intimacy there that's real deep. But there is an aspect to it of, like, it is the person who knows you almost as well as you know yourself.
Yeah.
And I love seeing in things where it's like, I can tell by looking at your face that you're sad, so I got you ice cream that you like. That's your favorite flavor. And I see why it appeals so strongly to so many people.
Though, to be fair, I will say those kinds of relationships are also totally possible in people who haven't known each other since childhood. I feel like
for sure.
One of the biggest kind of like time is a wonderful kind of thing where like time will just foster a lot of different things. But that doesn't mean that like somebody who you've met, I don't know, like in your college years or like in your early 20s or something can't also be like the same level of friendship, you know?
I wholeheartedly agree. I would say that you're a good example
oh my God,
of somebody who...
oh my God.
You're a good example of somebody who, like, knows me very well.
You're also an example
irrespective.
of someone who knows me very well.
Oh my God, we're childhood friends as adults.
Oh my God, cool.
Aww. I made myself all blushy in the middle of our comedy fun podcast.
Oh my God, that's okay. That's what this podcast is called. Just Kiss already. So blushing is totally welcome. It's all accepted. I will say though,
good.
For how emotionally constipated this couple is, that Teacup girl is so damn good at flirting. Like, I was kind of blushing a little. I was like, girl, oh my God, like she was out here.
She was skill building. She was like, for my future husband who I love, I'm gonna learn how to just flirt my heart out.
I was impressed. Like the way that she talked to Haruhi, I was like, yo.
Oh yeah, game recognized game.
Yeah.
That's one of the 10 commandments of this show.
Oh man. I did love also though, like, so Haruhi has like her own kind of fans at the host club, and it was very cute to see that like they're just really shy.
Aww.
Like they were like, oh my God,
cute.
I really want to ask Haruhi for a dance, and they just like couldn't do it. And then this girl walks in and she's like, hey Haruhi, dance with me. And I was like, well damn.
Yeah, you, me, touching hands and spinning around gently for 4 minutes. Let's go.
Oh, I love the dynamic though of Haruhi's fans, ex-Haruhi. The patrons that Haruhi attracts are so adorable.
Yeah, it's the superpower, man. It's so cool to see somebody whose appeal lies in them being genuine.
Yes.
I feel like that's so underrepresented, but it's also the most powerful tool for love.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
So if I can tell on myself for the third time,
oh my
in
God,
this
Jared
single
is
episode
just
of our
outing
podcast.
himself today. Everybody, gather around. Come here.
See, I don't know if anybody's gonna believe me, but I was this close to putting childhood friend as my trope prediction for last time.
Really?
And it seemed too obvious. I was like, but we're not gonna meet a new member of the host club who was like a childhood friend.
But we could
so, like,
meet
what
a
are the
childhood
chances?
friend of Haruhi. Come on, it could have been. You never know. You never know. You never know.
I'll forever be kicking myself because that's already one incorrect guess. So I'm gonna try to keep it simple. I'm gonna try to keep it safe for this prediction. I think on the next episode of this show,
yes,
there's going to be I might be missing the name of this trope, but I'm just going to describe what I'm thinking.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking it's going to be the consequences trope, where they have to do something or somebody's gonna get expelled or suspended.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know what you. I also don't know if there's a name for that, but I totally know what you mean. Somebody accidentally kicks the principal when they were playing soccer.
Exactly. Or Haruhi knocks over another vase and they're like, detention.
Oh no. Ooh, okay. Is that the only one? Are you banking all your money on that one, or do you have another?
Ooh, the option to split my bet is an interesting one, but I'm a reckless gambler. I'm gonna put all my chips on 23, and I'm gonna say there's gonna be the threat of expulsion in the next episode.
The threat of expulsion. I will say that's pretty specific. Consequences is a bit more vague. Expulsion is you're kind of nailing yourself to this one.
All right. No, I've already used my mouth to say the words. Fair enough. Here.
You're right. We are a once you say it, no takesies backsies podcast. So it goes.
Yes. We are men of honor.
That's right. All right. I'll take those chips. The dealer will just does the dealer? Ooh. I don't think the dealer actually takes the chips, but I'm going to. I'm going to take them.
Kara the croupier.
Thank you. They're in my hands now, and I'm going to hold these, and you might get them back.
You might get more, but you might not even get these.
You might not even get these. Or, you never know. I might have to give them to someone else.
No!
If you get it right, I will give them back. And if you get it wrong, then I will eat them.
No! Now you gotta tune in next time to see if Kara's just swallowing some chips.
Is Kara eating chips, or is Jaren holding chips? I don't know. I don't know what you would do with them. You can decide what you want to do. I'm gonna eat them.
I would bet them all again immediately on another high.
Just have a gambling addiction.
I do.
Oh man. All right. Well, it looks like that is the end of episode 2 of Ouran High School Host Club, everybody. Tune in next time for episode 3.
Tune in, y'all. It's gonna be a good one.
That's right. We sure hope so. We'll see. Will Haruhi get expelled? Or will we meet Haruhi's doppelganger and have to deal with it? Or...
Oh, doppelganger is such a good trope. Oh.
You'll find out
Episode
next time.
3, there's another me. Oh no.
Oh no. All right, thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah, bye.
Bye.